Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Mania Long Note Tournament 3rd edition. We are rounding out the semifinals. The last conditional match before the final match of the weekend is upon us. We have a very exciting matchup for you guys here today. We got Pavin going up against mLN3 for a spot in the finals. Lives of these players is going to end here, at least their tournament life. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined by Pataraj. Pataraj, how are you doing?
I am doing fine still. I think I've recovered enough from the last tiebreaker yesterday from commentating it, but then ever since then, I've learned that it was another tiebreaker between Ting Momentum and Grill Roasted, and yeah, will we get a third tiebreaker? That is the question.
That is indeed the question. These two have been fighting tooth and nail through the losers bracket to try and make it this far. Can imagine it is going to be a very close matchup between two very good players, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another tiebreaker come out here as we get into this first warm-up.
Yeah, mLN3 actually took it over Gaysol, and Pavin actually took it over. Checks notes. I have the bracket somewhere. Okay. Took it over on Tabakasi.
Yeah, two heavy hitters. Gaysol, of course, winning the 4K Mania World Cup with South Korea, and onto Bikasi, just a overall very strong 7-key player, showing what they're made of in the 4-key realm, especially on the long notes. And Pavin, the road not over, facing another 7-key player in mLN3, who has been very strong so far in the semifinals weekend. Some very impressive scores, some V1SSs or near V1SSs on a pool like this is very scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what this warm-up is about. I probably think this was featured in another tournament, recent tournament.
Probably, but every time I see the text and I see funny names, I think of stuff like this. This is your morning alarm. Good morning to those on the western side of the world, and good afternoon/evening to those on the other side.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of time zones going on. Pavin being in Thailand and mLN3 being in Canada. It is literally almost 12 hours apart, depending on where you are in those countries. Especially Canada. Canada is a bit bigger than Thailand is.
Yeah, Canada spanning almost 5 time zones in its own right. So hopefully it's not too early in the morning for mLN3. I think they actually pushed this match back an hour. I think Pavin was the one that reached out because it might have been a little bit late, especially on a Sunday, for them to be playing. Might have stuff going on Monday. Definitely don't want to interrupt your personal life with the goings on of a tournament, but we're here now, and we're going to get into the second warm-up relatively shortly.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a long one as well. 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Shoutouts to Epsilon, I guess. Who we are actually replacing today. Epsilon has been a streamer lately, so I guess mLN3 gonna miss them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So as the players ready up, it'll be very interesting to see what they decide to do when we get into the actual match. Definitely no room for error for these two players. Tournament life on the line, as we said at the top of the broadcast. And I mean, pretty close overall in their last matches. So definitely want to try and keep the nerves under control as they get into the actual match.
Yeah, I feel like the dynamics are going to be a little bit different from their previous match. Pavin had to face Tabakasi, and Pavin versus Tabakasi was more of a physical showdown. more than a accuracy one. But granted, Pavin came out of it as someone who is actually more proficient on accuracy than Onta was. mLN3 versus Gaesel was a little bit more of a subtle matchup. Gaesel had some probably had some issues towards the end with their hardware, which was quite unfortunate. I hope that mLN3 is ready for this one. But Pavin versus mLN3 is gonna be. I feel like that's gonna be a show of physicality versus, I guess, finesse.
Yeah, for sure. It's really going to come down to. Can imagine they're probably going to linger in the wildcard density side of the pool. I think that's where mLN3 really started to find some of their points, despite the fact that I believe they protected Coordination 1 in their match against Gaesel. So I'm pretty much might actually come down to comfort picks in a situation like this. You don't want to throw yourself into a situation where you might overthink something in the middle of the map, and that's really where the mistakes start to happen. In a match as close as this, mistakes can be defined as single 200s being dropped at inopportune times.
Yeah, what's fun about this warm-up is that Stability being a quite prolific LN mapper, of course we pullers look at his maps, and I think Epsilon Love situates itself in... I want to stay around the 16 quarterfinals in terms of difficulty.
Yeah,
so, yeah, maybe a little bit of a throwback in terms of difficulty, but you can see that both of those players are actually dishing it out pretty closely.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a comfort pick to try and settle the nerves, make sure your eyes are focused as we make our way into the last quarter of this map. We do see Pavin ahead in accuracy, and I don't know if that's going to be the tail of the tape here between these two, where you see Pavin comes out of this with the higher score. Maybe it opts to go for the more coordination picks here. They can maybe out-hack mLN3. Sure, this one maybe a step or two below what the difficulty of this pool is, but if they scale well enough.
Yeah, it's just gonna come down to the information they also have from their previous matches. I will be opening the previous matches links. Yeah, this is Gaesel, and the other one was versus Onta Bekasi. So comparing some of the scores, for example, we've got Pavin with a 984 on Vend, but mLN3 with a 983 on Vend. Quite different stories being told around, with one combo break on Pavin's side, so maybe could be a battle of consistency.
For sure, anything will go here. I think once we actually get started, all bets will be off. And it looks like the rolls are coming out. mLN3 winning the roll 72-49, and they're going to opt to do everything first here.
Yeah, I think protecting or banning first or second might be also valuable in terms of strategy. Even those types of decisions are going to be quite important going on. We see a Vend protect, as we just mentioned. mLN3 does feel like they have a chance to take it over Pavin if they choke on it again.
Yeah, this was their protect in their match against Gaesel. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. In this scenario, he'll be able to Pavin to protect next. Wonder if they're going to stick with their same protect going into this match.
So the second protect is going to be density. So Pavin definitely going physicality, full physicality. All we need as happy is 260 BPM Danny PX Onslaught.
Yeah, when Danny wants to map a hard map, they make a hard map, and mLN3 going to opt to ban Tech 3 from this pool, deviating from what they banned against Gaysol here. So changing up the strategy a little bit, maybe paying some respect to Pavin's technical abilities going into this match.
Yeah, perhaps even having personal troubles of their own on this particular pick. So definitely want to get rid of it if you're not confident with it. And even more so if you think your opponent is confident on it.
And wildcard 4 going to be the other ban, so removing Orca from the pool, or remove them from any staff lists that they're on as well.
Bye Orca. SV is no more.
SV
was gone. SV was gone from soft since soft 5. So we don't need you anymore. Anyways, Pavin with a 990k on Dilla, so that is a very understandable ban.
Yeah, that's definitely paying some respects over, and UmmmMrMoo gonna opt to do the same thing they did against Gaysol. They're gonna go straight into their protect here. It's going to be coordination 1 coming out. We're gonna start this match off on Vend.
Yeah, just as a quick reminder, I just said this like a few minutes ago, but 984 for Pavin and 983 for mLN3, but Pavin's score was with a slider break. So Pavin definitely able to get to 990k if they get a full combo, but are they gonna get it?
Remains to be seen. Some improvements to be made for both players. Definitely don't want to overreach. Gotta play to the best of your abilities. We are going to get into this first map of this. The best of 11. First player to 6 points will see themselves through to finals weekend. A lot on the line here for both.
Yeah, finals weekend with many scary players awaiting. It's it's a scary thought going into this match.
And as we go way through this introduction, we see what will probably be the tail of this match. These two basically in lockstep with each other through the introductions. As things start to pick up, we'll probably see some deviations, but so far it's going to be UmmmMrMoo finding the first bit of accuracy damage, dropping down to that 99.6 range. Pavin still holding strong through this opening first quarter. 99.8 for them. I think UmmmMrMoo would have just picked up a couple of straight 200s on some of the releases. The release timing definitely starts to get a lot trickier this late on into the tournament.
Yeah, definitely, and mLN3 does not want to let up in terms of focus, do not want to even blink one too many times and catch a 200 like in the beginning.
Yeah, recovering well from that introduction, back up, hovering around that 99.7 range, about a 10th behind Pavin for the moment as we make our way into the second third of the map. And right now Pavin is in control. I don't think I've seen him drop a singular 200 because of that astonishing accuracy out of this introduction. The consistency that they're showing right now is out of this world.
Yeah, in terms of ratio, Pavin is definitely a step ahead of mLN3, and even in terms of 200s. In terms of 200s, mLN3 is definitely dropping some of them in those very coordination demanding sections.
Yeah, so many shields and reverse shields that can really catch you off guard. Just basic mini jack motions that are so arduous to play through. Some staggered starts and releases through this section going into the back half, and it's still Pavin ahead by about a 10th and a half. Might have picked up a rush of 300s or even a 200 in transitioning into the back half of the map, but still holding on to the lead, but it's just so fragile at the moment going into the last third of the map. Oh, but UmmmMrMoo is going to find the slider break on the transition into the last third, and that's going to help expand this lead for Pavin. A bit of a cushion to work with now as we make our way into the last quarter of the map.
That is absolutely heartbreaking, and this last section was the section that decides it all. And you just gotta hope that Pavin actually breaks in return for mLN3 to actually take some of the advantage. Some of the accuracy from Pavin actually went away, went from 99.8 to low 99.7s.
Yeah, so definitely this back half got to maintain full concentration. As you were saying, Pavin did find a slider break in their match against mLN3 on this map, but so far they have managed to clean up the errors, found the mistake and corrected it going to the last sliver of the map, and really the ball is in Pavin's court to fumble at the moment. mLN3 recovering very well from that slider break back up into the 99.6 range, but Pavin has been in control from the get-go, and starting this match off, it is going to be a break point going the way of Pavin, making it 1-0.
What a break point as well. Look at its ratio. That is a dirty ratio to get on a coordination pick. Like, sure, the coordination picks do lend themselves to get ratioed on, but wow, only getting 5 200s on this mind-bending test of coordination is just astounding. Props to mLN3 as well. Sub 10 200s on this is absolutely incredible to see in semifinals.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like despite the 100 and the miss, I think those might have come on the same chord. Wouldn't have made the difference here. Pavin just out-ratioing in all regards. And Pavin gonna opt to go with Density 3 here.
I believe that was their Protect, or so. Or maybe that was Density 1, I'm mistaken.
Density 1 was the Protect, but still same category. So definitely finding some comfort here. But that being said, mLN3 put up some pretty disgusting scores on the Density picks against Gaysol here. So might be one of those cases where they might need to change up the strategy. Maybe don't want to get into an accuracy battle in the coordination picks. Might want to try and out-physical somebody like Pavin, which is probably a bit of a tall ask. But if there's anybody that can do it, it can be mLN3 here.
Yeah, absolutely. Against Gaysol, mLN3 definitely had some trouble on this pick in particular, so maybe Pavin is looking to reiterate this performance from mLN3, but you know, between yesterday and today, those are different days.
Yeah, on any given day, anything can happen. We've already seen some very tight matchups so far in this round, decided by less than 4-digit amounts of scores. And I'm pretty sure this is going to come down to the wire. mLN3 going to try and get back that break point, but that is not a good start from them. Finding the slider break on the transition into the real first key eye drop of the song. Going to drop down into that 99.4 range. Going to give Pavin a bit of a cushion to work with for now.
Yeah, you cannot autopilot this map. You definitely have to pay attention to those bursts, and mLN3 failed prey to one of them. Pavin still at a staggering 99.82 almost.
Yeah, just handling those inverse bursts with ease at the moment as we make our way into the second third of the map. Definitely a fair bit shorter than the first one here, so those drops are going to be amplified, and you can already see Pavin start to pull away as mLN3 finds a couple of rushes of 300s here in the transition to the back of the map.
Yeah, Pavin fell off the 99.8 mark due to the sheer intensity of the map, but still at the high advantage over mLN3 right now, both in terms of combo and in terms of accuracy, but everything can still happen in this back third.
Yeah, you just need one bad section to throw things into complete disarray, but for the moment, Pavin's still holding on to the full combo here. Last third of the map still to go as things take a bit of a break, for as much of a break as this song can give you before it picks up right where it left off. Last quarter of the map still to go. mLN3 still on the recovery run, doing very well to recover from that early miss, but so far it is still ball fully in Pavin's court to give up right now as we make our way into the last 8, and the lead starts to extend again as mLN3 finds another accuracy drop here going to the last 8, and unless Pavin finds a drop and drops it very quickly, there's going to be Pavin capitalizing on that break point.
Pavin did not flinch one single bit after all of those bursts. Neither did mLN3 to their credit, to be fair. They actually started in 99.57 or so, only dropping to 99.54, only catching 10 200s in total. I gotta say, both of those players are absolutely putting a show.
Pause Rush, we're in semifinals, right?
Yeah,
you guys made these maps hard, right?
Okay, like look at the facts. Pavin's score right now, 992,301, is worse than their score they got against Santa Bekasi, 992,607.
You're telling me that wasn't an improvement?
That was not an improvement, and they actually got a better ratio against Somtabikasi.
Oh my goodness, the consistency out of this man is ridiculous. And UmmmMrMoo down 2-0 now, gonna opt to try the wild cards out to see if they can find some sort of purchase in this match. It's gonna be Heaven's Door coming out here.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange pick because Heaven's Door is fairly physical, but if MrMoo is finding comfort in this type of physicality, then this type of technicality might be able to trip up Pavin in terms of combo. I think it's what they're looking for.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to start trying to find some avenues of attack into this consistency wall that Pavin has built for themselves. Not insurmountable just yet, but you definitely don't want to let this lead get out of control too quickly.
Yeah, MrMoo does have a 990k on Heaven's Door, but Pavin does have a 993k. So let's see what they can do in this time.
And once again, similar starts as was that coordination pick. Picking right up where they left off. That density pick can be written off. Much similar starts here as their accuracies are virtually tied out of that first nasty burst.
Yep, nothing decided out of this, but MrMoo does get a very nasty accuracy drop. Maybe a couple of 200s, maybe 100 as well in the mix.
Yeah, going to be giving Pavin a bit of a cushion to work with, but very importantly holding on to the full combo here, so it gives them a bit of a shot to try and capitalize if Pavin were to fall off their perch here. But so far, 99.76, the epitome of consistency right now as we make our way into the second third of the map. MrMoo still not out of it just yet, but this hill is quickly becoming a mountain for them to climb.
Yeah, still half of the map to go through. Everything can still happen, and MrMoo is recovering very quickly, and Pavin is letting a window open for MrMoo to come in.
And come in they will. MrMoo taking the lead off the back of that full combo run so far. Sure, Pavin holds on to the accuracy. The one good thing about these wild cards and them being as dense as they are is getting back up to that 400 combo cap. It's relatively easy, so you don't give away too many points. And it's just up to MrMoo to not drop any more accuracy. If Pavin can maintain this accuracy advantage and start to build on it once again, there is still an outside shot for them to be able to take this. This is a very fragile lead that MrMoo has to work with right now.
Yeah, Pavin does lose a fair amount of accuracy at the end, and catching accuracy is what they can do to actually get this point back, but it's not going to be enough as we're reaching the end of the map.
Every 100th matters. Gotta watch these ending releases. Don't want to fumble any unnecessary 300s if you want to try and hold on to this lead, and MrMoo's going to do just enough and take their point. Not going to be a sweep here and make it 2-1.
Yeah, a slight advantage of accuracy from Pavin right here, but it's not much. There's only 1/5 of ratio difference between MrMoo and Pavin, and in terms of 200, it's not much either.
Yeah, I think it would have been a much different story if that 50 from MrMoo had turned into a combo break. Pavin, not as fortunate here, did find that break, and it gave over just enough points over to MrMoo to take that point, and they're going to waste 0 time. As soon as the map ended, they threw out Density 1. They're going for the Protect here.
Yeah, we don't have any information about this pick from Pavin here, so it's all about the surprise, but I feel like they can get a very high score if they protected it.
Yeah, and the reaction from MrMoo, I believe they banned this in their match against Gaysol, if I do recall correctly.
260 too fast for me. Shoutouts to Too Fast For You. It is an existing player in the world.
Hopefully they're doing well.
Probably drinking a beer at this present time.
It is late enough in the day over there for them to do that, so as we get this 4th map loaded up, everything synced up, let's see if Pavin can keep this 2-point advantage that they have built up over MrMoo, or MrMoo can take the breakpoint back in kind and notch things back up here.
Oh, that's not a great start.
It is is the opportunity that mLN3 needed. Pavin finding the break early. It was before that 400 combo cap, so it's not going to hurt just as badly as if they had dropped halfway through the map. So definitely going to be able to try and wrestle back some control. But that was a nasty accuracy drop. 99.2 for them to start this map off. It's the lowest that either player has had throughout this match so far, as mLN3 settles onto their perch 99.7 and going to try to maintain the advantage they have now.
Yeah, OD 7.5, that allows things to be act fairly smoothly, but not that smoothly compared to OD 7. And mLN3 is gonna lose some accuracy in those fast 260 BPM runs. And the combo!
Yeah, a little bit too much for them to read through it. It started looking a little bit shaky. They started finding a couple of 200 rushes as they tried to maintain, but it wasn't going to be enough. And now they are the ones behind in terms of accuracy and now score. That was an equally as bad drop. And the fact that it happened after that 400 combo cap just allows Pavin to scoop up the remains and take over the lead going into the last quarter of the map.
Yeah, Pavin is much more focused than mLN3 is in terms of ratio right now. Definitely the speed has got to play on it, so definitely a good protect and good perspective ban from mLN3 in the previous match.
Yeah, this is probably the one that they wanted to avoid playing at all costs, but there's other maps out there that Pavin could have taken advantage on as well, so it was really just a pick your poison moment. And as this map comes to an end, Pavin is going to re-establish that 2-point advantage and make it 3-1 now.
Oh yeah, compared to the 990 case that we've been seeing, 983 versus 976 is definitely more of something that we would expect in semifinals at least. But 6200s overall from Pavin is just monstrous in terms of physicality.
Yeah, definitely very comfortable overall. Just needed a quick second to settle right in. Those two drops happening very early. And now it's mLN3 up to pick next.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if they're gonna go for some slower picks. They're definitely gonna go for some slower picks. I think there are only slower picks remaining. Maybe except Tortura, but Tortura might be Pavin's next pick.
God, where do you go from here if you are mLN3? Oh, it's gonna be Density 4, so Tortura is actually going to come out. Okay.
I don't know. The strategies are all over the place for these semifinals, but it's not all about the categories at all. It's not about strict physicality or anything. All of the maps are very different, and they might play different for different people. So I can understand if mLN3 is going for some kind of daring strategy against Pavin.
Yeah, for sure. This one might be a little bit more up their alley. Cranking down the dial a little bit, not going to be that 260 BPM speed map. Is going to be down into the probably more manageable for them, 206 BPM, but increasing the OD just a little bit here, and a much shorter map by comparison. It's going to be amplifying all these judgments that they're going to be throwing out here. Definitely want to keep the mistakes to a minimum as the players are ready. We are going to get into this 5th map of this best of 11. Pavin halfway through, on their way to finals weekend. mLN3 with it all to do for the moment. Got to take that break point and points of their own. Can definitely not afford to hand over anymore.
Yeah, one break point behind, you gotta definitely catch it on some pick. Maybe the next one is gonna be the answer. But right now, what we have to focus on is Tortura, a very backloaded map. So you gotta catch all of the accuracy that you can in the beginning and focus for the ending.
Yeah, both players handling these bursts with relative ease. Both finding rushes of 300s. That's really where the accuracy drops are coming from. They're virtually tied going into the second third of the map. mLN3 pulling away just a little bit here. Pavin finding a little bit of difficulty handling these streams here, dropping down to that 99.6 range. But as we take stock of the situation, back half map still to go. It is still inside of a 0.1% between these two players.
This is very exciting going into the second half of the map. This is not a very long map. Everything matters in this very last part.
Yeah, as you were saying, this is a very backloaded map, so definitely not out of the woods just yet. If you are UmmmMrMoo, Pavin is closing up. That accuracy deficit is 500%. Separating them, but Pavin
Ooh.
finds a break!
Yeah, I was gonna say Mr. Moo does flaunt a 992k against Gaysol on this one. So definitely a force to be reckoned on this particular pick.
No, not out of the woods just yet. Anything can still happen. There's only an eighth of the map left to go, but this lead has expanded to about 9,000 points in favor of UmmmMrMoo as we have the longest hold.
And the last note?
Clean. UmmmMrMoo takes it and makes it 3-2 now.
Oh wow, better ratio, not by much granted, but better ratio from Pavin, even on this frantic pick where they caught some 200s and a miss in a 50. Very clean judgments from Mr. Moo. This is not a PB in tournament, but this is definitely something that's going to net them their points.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all that matters is that your score is higher than your opponent's. And God, almost V1SS, two 200s in that entire run. There was so much to handle. And they almost came away with a
Wow,
V1SS.
I feel like players have been continuously very afraid of the technical category and even the coordination category to some extent, because the coordination becomes so technical that it becomes a risky pick that you don't want to throw in early into the match. So that's why we've been seeing a flight of wildcards and density picks.
Yeah, that upper half of the map will start to get really scary this late on. You don't want to be the one to inadvertently hand over a breakpoint just due to like a moment of discomfort on those picks. So trying to just muscle your way through the bottom half of the map pool has been a strategy for a lot of players so far in this round. That is going to be wildcard 1 coming out in Initia.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see some of the strategies going on in semifinals, because up till quarterfinals, I think it wasn't really a question. Those top 12 players were definitely able to get a full combo on pulls up to quarterfinals, but here it's much more up in the air in terms of choke ability and the consistency.
Yeah, that's just how far we've had to push these players, continually pushing the limits of what is possible, especially in terms of LN mapping. And as we make our way through this first quarter of the map, we are going to see a very slender lead in favor of Pavin for the moment. UmmmMrMoo catching up very quickly out of his introduction, basically hovering in that 99.8 range. But as I say that, UmmmMrMoo going to find a bit of an accuracy drop, might have dropped a couple of 200s on the transition into the second quarter of the map, going to drop them down about a 10th behind Pavin for the moment.
Yeah, nothing is lost yet. The difference is not too great yet. Pavin could catch 2 or 3 200s and give that lead away right all of a sudden, as Mr. Moo is climbing back up in terms of accuracy.
Yeah, and it is the tiniest of accuracy drops here and there. Every time the accuracy flickers even 100%, we see that leaderboard start to trend one way or the other. It is still a 10% in favor of Pavin going to the last third of the map. Both players still holding on to their full combos as they try to read through all of these nasty bursts into this inverse section. Coming out of it, a lot of Graysons to contend with some impact as well. Last quarter of the map still to go, and it's still Pavin in the lead, pulling away just a little bit here now as the map starts to come to a close.
Yeah, Mr. Moo dropping from 99.72 to 99.70, putting a halt to their progress towards catching up towards Pavin, and there are not that many nodes left.
Not that many indeed. Pavin finding a couple of 200s in this outro, but still able to hold on here. Last bit of an onslaught to read through, and it is going to be Pavin cleaning it up here. 993k to make it 4-2 now.
Jeez, what a ratio on this.
Oh
200. Oh my god. This is a force to be reckoned. I feel like Pavin scales so well on these type of maps. And if they make it through to finals, I cannot wait to see what they are capable to do on finals picks.
Yeah, for sure. And to think that just last year they were uh, runners up in the four-digit Mania World Cup, to make it this far, to stand toe-to-toe with some like high tier World Cup players, is nothing short of astonishing at the moment, as mLN3 needs a bit of a timeout to take care of some business.
Yeah, I mean, it is also time in the spectator booth to take some hydration break. It's very important to hydrate yourself in those sweaty times.
Yeah, for sure, especially if you're in the southern half of the world, dealing with summer. If you are in the northern hemisphere, it is freezing cold right now.
Yeah, we had a drop of temperature quite sudden. We had kind of a lengthy summer, so to speak, but the temperatures just decided to fall all of a sudden.
Yeah, same here. I'm not used to single-digit Celsius temperatures, so I am going through it right now as mLN3 does return, and it is going to be Density 2, the pick, running through the gamut of density picks. We're going to finish it off with Phoenix here.
Yeah, I feel like it's quite interesting to see the dichotomy between the densities that have been picked and the densities that mLN3 picked. It is literally left and right in terms of densities, but those densities are definitely quite different in terms of physicality. Phoenix is one of the more affordable ones, and I feel like mLN3 is definitely going for an accuracy score like mLN3 was going for on Tortura.
So the players are ready. Business has been taken care of. It's going to be the 7th map of this best of 11. Pavin knocking on the door of a match point situation. mLN3 still with it all to do, and Pavin with the mirror mod here.
Yeah, some of the handstream patterns are quite abrasive on one particular hand, and also some players were susceptible to mind blocks as well on this particular map. So depending on the amount of training that you had to put for to get your way through, especially in the losers bracket, you might want to find this mirror mod very useful.
For sure, as we make our way into this first drops section, we see accuracy being traded back and forth, hovering in that 99.7 range of mLN3, holding on to the narrative lead, but does find a couple of drops of 300s, going to bring them back relatively even. Dare I say that they're virtually tied, despite it being 500% separating these two players. It is shifting back and forth so quickly right now.
Yeah, in terms of ratio, in terms of unstable rate, it's looking quite similar actually. mLN3 may be looking a little bit more spread than Pavin actually, so the accuracy advantage does not translate 100% here, and as we're going into the break, mLN3 just lost this advantage.
It's 40 points separating the players going into these breaks right now. I can imagine they're looking at those scores, seeing how close they are, and nerves are starting to build. It is Pavin ahead by 100%. They are virtually tied going into the second third of the map.
Yeah, it's absolutely nothing coming out of this intro, and the pick really starts. You might say the pick really starts from now on.
Yeah, the real test begins now. Going into the back half of the map, Pavin starting to pull away just a little bit here, but mLN3 staying as tight as possible, separated by basically nothing right now. It is the ratio that has been keeping Pavin ahead for the moment, as it is 200% going into the last third of the map. Still all to play for here, a singular 200 this late on can definitely start to swing things one way or the other.
Yeah, Pavin definitely wants to avoid catching some 200s, and mLN3 has been doing a great job of avoiding those 200s as well. So if both of those players avoid the 200s, Pavin is definitely on no way to get ahead.
That one was signed, sealed, and delivered courtesy of Patiraj, a slider break from Pavin, but that was the cleanest break of all time. Still able to hold on to the accuracy advantage. They are now back up over that 400 combo cap. It is up to mLN3 to avoid any accuracy drops. You imagine if they drop into that 99.6 range, it is game over. Pavin increasing their accuracy despite that drop. Last eighth of the map to go. They are pulling away now. It is 500%, and that lead is starting to trickle the way of Pavin ever so slightly. mLN3 doing everything in their power to keep Pavin at bay. It is probably hundreds of points separating these players going into the last level of map.
Anything is still possible. Pavin is actually able to catch up to mLN3 in terms of accuracy on this very long map. There are more than 5,000 nodes here, so it's definitely possible in terms of math.
Oh my goodness. Oh!
Jeez.
Oh that is with a slider break. How? Pavin, what are you doing? You almost brought that back, you absolute madman. But mLN3, despite a fierce charge, a fierce comeback, manages to hold on and make it 4-3 now.
Okay. We're going straight into boss fight after party after this incredible Phoenix run from both of the players. Just waiting for no one here.
Yeah, for sure. This map brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Please use our affiliate code that does not exist.
Yep. Definitely want to download your copy of Raid Shadow Legend Noodles.
I think you can speak a little bit more about this map. You are the author of it after all. I think you were explaining to some curious members of the Discord as to how this map came to be.
I mean, I do have a small story before we start, because I mean, the original version of this map was actually planned for Grand Finals, but it actually ended up in Semifinals for some reason. It was nerfed, don't worry, but yeah, this is basically a pretty hard map, and even nerfed, this poses a challenge to many players, still qualified.
Yeah, for a coordination pick, this definitely does test your consistency. Things can go off the rails very quickly, and despite no real drops to speak of, Pavin having a bit of a struggle out of the introduction, 99.6 in comparison to mLN3's 99.8, and these bursts are so hard to read through that are coming up.
Yeah, this section in particular is going to drop some accuracy, some massive accuracy on both ends.
Ooh,
and the combo!
mLN3.
Oh yeah, that's going to be falling prey to those bursts, those nasty bursts. And Pavin as well, trading!
Not immune to these nasty staircase bursts. So many staggers, so many flams to deal with that it's unsurprising that it does catch out these two players. They have been doing so well so far, and they might have both found their breaking point in terms of stylistic mapping. mLN3 pulling ahead in terms of accuracy for the moment, but they do find a break, but Pavin trades it back.
That was on the exact same node! They have the exact same combo now!
Oh, it is all to play for. Back half the map still upcoming. Neither player immune to the drops that this map can make you do. And now the accuracies are virtually tied, 99.2 apiece. mLN3 ahead by about 800 points for the moment. It is not an insurmountable lead by any stretch of the imagination. Pavin still in this with a shout.
Yeah, actually both of the players are tied in terms of combos, so it's only a play of accuracy right now, and they're literally tied. They are literally tied despite all the combo breaks and the accuracy breaks.
Yeah, Pavin takes over the advantage. I think it's the timing of the misses that really starts to come into play from the earlier exchanges. Yes, they did drop at relatively the same time a second time, but the quality of those misses starts to come back into play, and Pavin takes the advantage for the moment, but this is going to start flickering back and forth as they start to trade these hundreds.
Oh yeah, mLN3 definitely a little bit behind, but it's literally by nothing at all. Pavin could still catch some accuracy breaks in this ending, and it would go towards mLN3 here.
Yeah, both of them handling it very well. Pavin actually climbing for the moment, and they're going to be able to stave him off. It is 800 points, the difference between these two players. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, look at those judgments. Those scores look so different. 18-200s versus 7-200s, but better ratio? This is all over the place. And despite that, all those scores are 800 points apart.
I refuse to understand how Mania scoring works at this point. How do you find 800 points in this?
Oh my god, the math checks out, mate.
God. Regardless, that is a very hard-fought map. Pavin making it match point now, 5-3. mLN3 still needing to find that break point to bring themselves into a tiebreaker situation. It is going to be their pick, so they get to decide where they want to go for. You would imagine Wildcard 3 might actually be the choice here, and it is going to be indeed Super Emulator coming out for mLN3's last pick here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other coordination and technical picks are all very, very risky, and despite the franticness of Super Emulator, you could call Super Emulator a mini tiebreaker, a compressed tiebreaker in itself. It is still the least risky pick among all.
For sure, and it looks like the players are ready. This is mLN3's last stand to try and make a difference here. They need to win this and take that breakpoint away from Pavin to force a tiebreaker situation. Oh my goodness, the path is there. There are some picks left in this pool, those tech picks, and one coordination pick after this, but they need to get through this first.
It's going to be very decisive, and mLN3 does not want to catch some false judgments, even in this beginning, if they want to take it over Pavin.
Yeah, but for right now, mLN3 finding a bit of an accuracy drop out of that introduction. Might have been a early hit on the very first note that might have caused them to drop for the moment. 99.7 for them. Pavin was holding on to that 99.9 out of the introduction, and now still firmly planted in that 99.8 range. Exiting this first quarter of the map.
Yeah, as we're settling into the 1000 combo right now. Actually, mLN3 is still on target to take down Pavin if Pavin dares to break the combo.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to come easy, though. Pavin's breaks have been very clean so far throughout this match. It doesn't really lend that much window of opportunity, but when it has happened, mLN3 has actually been there to capitalize and maintain control of some of their own points here. As we make our way into the second third of the map, it is still 0.2% the advantage for Pavin here to work with.
Oh yeah, it's very scary to watch all of that. You might think that the 99.83% from Pavin is stable, but it can go away in the blink of an eye. Just know it.
Yeah, and as we get into a bit of a break section here, a chance for the players to take stock of the situation, recompose themselves before this final gauntlet, last third of the map. Still to go. mLN3 trying to climb back into that 99.7 range. Pavin still holding strong in that 99.8 range. Any 200s this late on, once again, as always, will shift things dramatically. Last quarter of the map still to go.
Yeah, the last part of the map is the densest in terms of density. I literally cannot find any other word to describe this.
Yeah, it is dense. You're littered and inundated with things to do on every single column. Cannot afford to blink. even for just a second. Last 8 of the map still to go. Pavin finding a couple of 200s out of in this outro, 99.78, but UmmmMrMoo is trading them in kind, 99.6 for them. The window of opportunity is quickly closing on UmmmMrMoo's tournament life here, and it is up to Pavin to find the drop to keep UmmmMrMoo alive here, but Pavin is not going to afford them that opportunity, and as this map comes to an end, it is going to be Pavin punching their ticket into finals weekend and taking it 6-3.
My god, what a score to end the match and go into finals week 1. Almost a 993k on Super Emulator, a semi-finals pick that is very, very frantic, 218 BPM. Wow, just okay, man.
If you are in the losers bracket, beware of Pavin. There is a late game LN player on the horizon, and congratulations to them for making it through. Commiserations to UmmmMrMoo falling just short of finals weekend, but doing very well to make it this deep into an incredibly stacked tournament.
Yeah, if there's anything to glean from the scores that Pavin just provided us, not only today but also yesterday, is that Pavin is definitely a dark horse to be reckoned in the next week. And speaking of next week, we can take a look at the brackets maybe.
Yeah, we're starting to clarify the final matches here. So Pavin gonna await the loser of the final match of the weekend. Demi-Fiend going up against Grip Warrior in about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be the last match of the week. The only remaining matchup that we have to decide for semifinals, and then it's going to be over. Then we're going to go into hell. Hell on Earth. That is finals week 1 and finals week 2.
Yep, but on behalf of both of us here and everybody on staff, definitely don't want to miss the final match of the semifinals weekend. Demi-Fiend versus Grip Warrior. We'll catch you guys in about an hour.
See ya.